Now we will hear once more from Prisca, this time living in the city of Ephesus. I wish I had been at the city gate to meet my friend when he arrived, to embrace him and tell him exactly how lovely it was to see him again, but I didn't. I wish, though I know I have no right to wish it, that he had come looking for his Priscilla. I wish he had sought me swiftly and found me with gladness and said to Aquila, "Now this is a home worth waiting for." Often during the 9 long months of his absence, I had allowed my heart to trouble me with foolish imaginings. On any day I might, just before turning a corner, be overcome with the sense that he was standing on the other side, smiling and waiting to greet me, with his quick eyes, the color of polished walnut, his dear head balanced on that stalk of a neck. Always, of course, there was only disappointment on the other side, but the sweet and melancholy sting of anticipation lingered the whole day long. But because he never gave me the sweet greeting of my anticipations, I too withdrew. I watched him from something of a distance, fighting my feelings as if they were a sickness. Oh, Paul, not only did you come riding instead of walking, you came older. Your poor bones seemed to be dragged down like the limbs of an ancient olive tree. How can I look on you and not try to help you? And I see it, Paul. Despite the headlong energy of your labors, I see that something's distracting in you, something dearer and deeper than these fierce administrations. Your drive is no longer spontaneous. It requires concentration and a will now, doesn't it? If during worship he seemed to glance at me, my heart failed, and I fought a sigh. I fought the flush and the smile that rose to my lips. I turned away from him, his strong skull and his drilling eye, because he hadn't really. He seldom glanced at me. I knew it was only my yearning that made it seem as if he had. So I drove hope away with anger. I protected my heart in a case of anger. And then the Apostle Paul took that away too. The anger, I mean. Early one morning in July, when Paul had been a 12-month in Ephesus, he sent Titus to our house, asking whether I would prepare a dinner for our people. "4," Titus said, winking, "if Aquila will be present, 3 if not." I was sensitive to things like winks. I noticed them, but I never understood them, and I did not ask. 4, Aquila would definitely be there. I chose summer fruit and goat's cheese and bread baked from Egyptian wheat and pigeons. In those days, we lived in a house completely enclosed by other houses, walls to walls, our doorway found through narrow passageways, stairs up, stairs down, and darkness. We had one room with high windows for light in the daytime, but everywhere else we lived with lamps and a continual smoke. I thought that Titus was to be the other guest, just because he begged the meal, I guess. But I was wrong. I was wrong about many things. Because Paul's companion, when they arrived at the door of our house, was a woman. I led them to the only room of windows where the table was already set. As they entered the room, I saw how Paul held this woman's elbow, gently, intimately, with more gallantry than I'd ever thought him capable of. And she responded to the touch with more than her mind. There was a bond. There must have been a history. She was, I thought, 2 or 3 years older than Paul, though she did not need to lean on him. She had long hair, iron gray, combed and piled after the manner of the Macedonians. Her clothing was rich and simple, her eyes both cautious and intelligent, her body heavy with an old strength. Aquila entered last. I invited my guests to make themselves comfortable on the couches around the table. It was my intent to leave them and to serve. Aquila sat at the foot of the table, and I prepared to go. But Paul sank to a knee in order to seat his companion, then rose and approached me, truly looking at me, searching my face, my eyes. He reached, and for the first time since leaving Corinth 18 months ago, he took my hand in his. Prisca, he said, this is your mother. But she hasn't come for honor or for admiration. She's come to learn from you.